أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our beautiful mothers and our fathers and our ancestors, our beautiful children and the Ummah at large. On this, the 26th of Rajab 1446 Hijri, the celebrations that follows on the 27th of Rajab 1446 Hijri, which is this evening after Maghrib, where we commemorate the beautiful stories that we have been always understanding in a perspective when we were less grown up, less matured. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, praise and glory upon the oneness of the universe and the great conscious of the divine, the supreme guide of our consciousness as we navigate through a very celestial moment of our earthly endeavors and experiments and experiences. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It is a very momentous occasion, and hence I saw the need to just shift the paradigm in that we are in a complete alignment, yani for those of us who has migrated into the new realm of conscious. Right? Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. What we need to celebrate on this occasion of the Isra is the new graduates of a conscious school that has been granted admission for those who were successful in matriculating in conscious, in the University of Life. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, there would be many of your children that are now the digital reciprocants of a new formula that they will engage in conscious reality conjures. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. We have been shifted 5 years ago, as you all have come to by now. You should have reached that mindset of awareness that your paradigm of a reality has been upgraded. Your frequency in a conscious world is now no longer frozen. You're no longer ice. You have left the ice hole. You are now in a liquid format. All right. Your currency has now been substituted as a collective for those who has been part of the transition that is now in her order. You and I and those who has formatted this new conscious awakening or ordeal ordained by the heavens, they have been granted admission into the master's program. Right. Obviously, as you know, when you go into school, there's always somebody that is below you and there's somebody that is above you. And you and I, as a collective, have reached the stage of your postgraduate, your post-corona, your post-lockdown, your post-unknown world that you have plummeted into 5 years ago. Right. You are all, and we are all just conscious. Our ego levels is now being assorted. Those who were cleansed, those who had purged, those who had cleaned their houses, their corners, those who knew where the switch was, those who were not selected to electrify and be electric into the dark age once again, and remaining in the ice cube that you in a conscious cannot escape. That perpetual cycle is one that has delayed your and my upgrades. Okay. If you do not complete your examination papers that the heavens and the queen of the earth and the skies has prepared for you, and you and I are still doing the copying and pasting, then ultimately we will remain subjects of a divide and conquered self. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. As we ascend into the Isra age now, for those who has taken up the postgraduate master's course, this is now where you will now do the shift. Okay, that is what we call the jidar. The jidar is the jim and the dal and the ra. Okay, the dar, jidar. Okay, this is now upgrading your levels of persuasion and conscious navigation into symbology, esoteric, and where the new graduates has now founded the foundation of how the next evolution in conscious will unfold. Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. What you and I must celebrate is that at least in our midst, from our cultural soul tribes, we have a people from our culture that has been granted that upgrade, that access, and that kind of level of perception and evolution. Allahu Akbar. We must celebrate them. We must show Allah, glorify Allah subhanahu alladhi asra bi abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-harami ila al-masjid al-aqsa. Those of us now that are going into a higher definition of divinity, right? The old God definition is no longer valid for the new age that we are evolving into technologically as well as consciously. This was a heavenly intervention, and that's why the Shafa'ah had now come to remove your past decadency, that is the Yamhullahu ma yasha, that has now been mutated as an energy, and due to a black sun now in orbit, the unknown now becomes replaced with surety. It is now no longer where you are living in belief structures. You are now living in what you know, your authenticity and your truth that resides within. Since you are now a graduate of the, or you are now you are now admitted into the masters of self paradigm, you will now learn to understand life in a much different paradigm as what you had externally digested. Okay, the process that you had gone through your Isra 4 years, 5 years ago, this is the Mi'raj now is now where you will come out and identify with that which is truth unto you. Okay, that which resonates with the truth that was planted and seeded by the heavens, by the ancestors, and it was complemented by the universal laws of eternity. This is what we defined as Jannah, enlightenment. All right. There is nothing that exists in the physical realm from this moment onwards, because you are now controlling the energies that you have come to learn how to manipulate it in the university of life. This is not for the weak. This is not for the weak-hearted. This is not for those who are still stuck in a physical ego conscious where they cannot detach of what is real and what is artificial. Since this evolution has dictated a split in our present conscious, the now becomes the eternal. There is nothing that exists in the past nor in the future except in your mental thoughts, right? You can only visit the past in your thoughts. That is where you have saved a file, and that is how it activates in your thought, but you cannot physically go back to that age. That is what God and the Almighty and the universe has, it has been terminated into a past self-destructive order. Okay, because stagnation is a metamorphosis that spirals downwards. All right, because of the truth that is being upgraded for the new transition of a conscious reality in succession. All right. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, congratulations, mabruk, for those who had qualified for this, appointed by, firstly, the heavens and the conscious family in the soul tribes, and as well as the ancestors who acceded to make and appoint you as the successions as from this moment onwards. Your ancestors were, mashallah, they were accurate in their calculation of when the cosmic transitions would unfold. Okay, you are only getting this information through your ancestors because they seeded it into your presence, into your conscious. When you were small, they told you about this evolution that you would personally undergo. This is not of a prophet, it's prophecies that has been planted inside of you. And once you reach the age of Musa, okay, where you activate your psychological phenomena of how you perceive realities and how you are assorted on the level of how you understand your inner self, then a door opens where you will now access it by yourself because you were granted the password. Okay, only you know your password, because now the universe will dedicate a moment of your earthly endeavor to upgrade your DNA strands, so that the ancestors can no longer be dead. Okay, you have now become alive, and you are no longer existing. You are now in communication with those who are in eternal loop of quantum physics, right? This is a science, it's an epigenetics. You are a tribe, you are the first graduates of this momentous occasion in a civilization that goes beyond the biological eyes of your material world. As you all know, I will to take this opportunity to congratulate those great servants, those soldiers, those who had been granted the will to go within, to visit the dark hole, to go down the rabbit holes, to go and question the illusional paradigms that they had been stuck in for many centuries. All right. This loop of faith is necessary for those who has always challenged the edge, always lived on the edge, always questioned their very existence, right? The heavens evaluates and qualifies or disqualifies you with no mistake. This is not where you become better than the next. This is where you become lower than everyone else, and the heavens assesses your humility and your modesty. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Here you have to unclothe of your previous decomposed narratives and belief systems, because now your beliefs that was limited is now going to be challenged. Okay, everything that you ever knew, everything that you ever embraced as a reality, as a truth, is now going to be courteously and gently removed from your presence, from your past age, from your iced age, and now the liquidation, your currency, your real currency and frequency, due to the planet now upgrading her windows. Okay, you are granted now the code to activate the new upgraded version of a new window of life, a new perspective, a more expanded form of understanding the evolution of who you are, why you are here, what is your purpose, and who is your adversary. Okay, the evolution of this level of mastery is assigned for those who are afforded clean hearts, qalbun salim. Okay, those who has not been disformed in their mental capture and could not silence the noise in the mind because of distractions and having been at war within, were not qualified to enter into the soul of the heart. Okay, the heart is where eternity resides. That is where the Isra and your Mi'raj will transpire. That is where you will have to understand that you have to leave the handles. This is where the unknown becomes your companion. Okay, this is the cave that you have to enter in order to purge from the caterpillar into the butterfly. Right? This is the talk of the town. This is the kalam of the Medina. You are now entering into the Medina of illumination, of enlightenment. This is beyond the ideals of religion, but it resides in the ultimate truth. This is what you have come here for, as a civilization, as a generation of the chosen tribes. Okay, this is not for the weak-hearted, because this evolution, it does not qualify you if you're not prepared to purge, if you are not prepared to get out of the old garment, the dilapidated structures, the decomposed narratives. You are not going to be able to sustain, self-sustain in this new mastery level of perception and conceptualization. This is again not for the weak-hearted. It is for those who have matured, those who have balagha rushd. Okay, those who understand the symbology of life, those who has the ability to understand that sin is natural, it's normal. You have to sin to understand why you've gone through the process and how to rectify it within, because only you know where your shortfalls are. Only you were gifted to know the honesty that you are within yourself. Now, when you undertake this Mi'raj, when you were gifted 5 years ago to purge, to plummet, to detach, to unplug, to renew, to restore, this was a transformation that was heavenly assigned. An Ain, Abd, was opened for you to go to a new ascension, to find a new Aqsa in your conceptualization of divinity and of self-mastery. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It is not the easiest of process. 99% of human beings will deny it, because it is the impossible that becomes possible. Okay, it is the insanity that turns to sanity. It is the zina that turns into tahara. Okay, it is exactly explained in your in biblical and in Quran and in Injil, Torah, Enoch, the Buddhists, the Hindus, all of them at the testament. Even the Hopi tribe of the Americas, all the ancient tribes are very acutely conscious of this transition that is happening, and it is not being assessed through religious paradigms, but through natural metamorphosis. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Those of you who has gone through this process, we congratulate you. We congratulate you, for you have gone into what the heavens would term the eternal river. Okay, the river that streams, yani a channel that you reciprocate, any data that is unlimited, where your beliefs are now going to be exchanged for something which is eternal. Your rightful place in the eternal contour of reality is now being formatted. What you will come to know of who you are in this new dispensation of mastering and knowing thyself is beyond my and your conception and comprehension of a previous physical, egotistical trip that tripped us into a reality that that had us enslaved into formatting and creating gods that is controlled by external forces. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. This is the transition, it is the migration, it is the hijrah of your new generation that have been digitally formatted through your sponsorship in your homes, that they can no longer relate to your truth. Your organic truth and their digital truth are two truths. Okay? It is clashing truths, and hence your devil is now their God and their God is now your devil. Okay? That is how the conjure is being flipped. All right? So they would consider the past the narrative as a demonic age. That is why you're going into demonetization currencies, and a new bank is now being activated in your currency and in your frequency, as those who are awoken, not those who are still tired. They remain asleep. They remain unbecoming, with no prejudgment. We do not give judgment, because once you've been liberated and the seals has been removed, that's what we call muh, and you have a mud. Okay, you have an extension now of a new reality in the nahar, in the new day, which is the nahar. It is the river that is flowing in terms of the new data that you exclusively as a master of the self world, the self realm, is now interacting with decoding prophecies. Okay. Here there is no prophets. All prophets ceases. Now you're going to do the real prophecies, because you have the codes with you. Okay? Remember, you are here to find the truth. You are not here only to conform to a truth through the lenses of another culture, but you have to find your own. That is being vestedly transmitted into your DNA from the time that you understand what is the philosophy of an Adam. I want to share with you that there's no way that Adam can have the Y chromosome and then he gives birth to the X chromosome. The X chromosome has to give birth to the Y chromosome. So that already, and it annihilates your past understanding of who preceded who. This is a feminine planet. It is a mother earth. It is it is given life through the conjure of the matriarch. Okay, that is the mitochondria energy of love that this planet, this reality, is supposed to give you access as a cultural tribe in the south of the planet. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. We give acknowledgement to the ancestors, where you and I are unfamiliar with your second grandfather until today. Because once your root is dead, you cannot find life. Once there's no acknowledgement of your ancestors, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, if your kids do not identify with that, they have no roots. Which means if there is no life in the root, there is synthetic life in the mind. You are cut off. Okay? And that is a state of seizure. That's why you have the ceasefire in your lives, because you have given up to fighting the truth, and now you have submitted to the artificial intelligence that lives in a digital dimension, right? This is what we are doing today. Is we are just shifting the algorithms for the soul tribes that has now been dispatched after having been after having purged, after having been modified, upgraded, and now the new Windows version is going to be activated for you to see much further because you grew. Okay, if you stagnate, you die. If you grow, you see further, and that is how the tree of life activates you to understand the mindset, the landscape of we. You are in present and reality dimensions. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. This is cosmological. It is real for some. It is insane for the others. That's why your prophet was accused of insanity, because the others, the adversary, is not qualified to read this part of the game because they haven't yet ascended into the mastery um, uh, um, levels of knowing thyself. This is an age where you don't believe, you know, because surety is the Ainul Yaqeen. This is the time that the veils, yani the basar, the hadid, is now removed, and you are now in a state of yani motion. Okay, it is now where the truth is in the presence and not in the past. Okay, as a unconscious yani collective um, fraternity, you first become unconscious so that you can evaluate what conscious is and what your level of reality dictates and determines. Right? It is a massive jump because spiritual awakenings is what you and I term as the Isra, going through the unknown, as what you have claimed a prophet had physically gone through something which was inevitably metaphysical and not physical. We are still stuck in the physical reality of something which we never witnessed, but we're only using it through a storyline. Okay, that you are not blameworthy, but you just need to know that you are still functioning on a old software because your console is still not upgraded. You haven't yet seen the need to change your operational systems. We, as the masters of the self realm, is now into the age of understanding what is qiyamah. You, as a past age, believes that you must die. In this age where you are currently now, for those who are the masters of the age and in that cause of the self discovery, they will understand that death is life. Okay, you had to die in order to live. You have to die in order to unveil. Okay, you have to alter your level of conscious in order to reciprocate new data, right? Until you are not prepared to go down that rabbit hole, you are not going to be a successor of your heritage and your lineage and your bloodline. Okay. This now at this stage of your evolution, we must once again hail the ancestors of your roots, of your tribe, of your family, your soul family that is in the same order of giving life, while you and I in a previous life believed that they were dead. Okay, you believe that you don't die, but still you believe in death. So that's a controversial. We as children today, we as the younger generation, we can see the pitfalls that has caused us to have been delayed in our evolution, but by no mistake. The cosmic transition of COVID was God permitted. It was scientifically challenged. Those who could not read between the ribs will not find the Rabb. Okay, and then the Ain will not open of the Rabb to make you Ain Rabba Arab. Okay, The new science that is coming now, yani, it doesn't speak to you physically, it speaks to you in your yani, metaphysical state of eternity. That is who you are originally. You are not your physical, you're only living in your mental constructs of a reality, but you have been educated in a format by a system that only believes in the physical. And then you had subscribed to a culture, a tradition where they call him the God, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the Allah. This is all things that you live in your mind, but you have to get out of that to find Allah, to find the definite, to find the truth. The truth is not residing in someone else. The truth is within you, and that is the highest criteria to qualify into the next dimension, that you not die but you find life in death, because that is the Malikul Maut. The death is a kingdom, but you do not experience it when you're dead, you experience it when you are awakened. Okay? Unfortunately, people, yani, it's not for the weak hearted. This is for those who are masters of self, mashallah. At no time do they get any accolades, they get no subtitles or entitlements, because al-mulku lillah. Everything here in this realm is in the kingdom, in the custodianship of the matriarchs. Okay, they are the purpose why the planet has come, the mothers, the sisters, the daughters. And if their natural order is not reclaimed and attained, then you are still, and I am still subjected to a illusional physical patriarch reality. Okay, as I always say, there is nobody that is blameworthy. We are all in our correct status, our correct positions, uh, with no one being able to acclaim righteousness except those who Allah by Himself, by Allah's self, acknowledges in silence. You cannot be a buzruk and a all these accolades and all these acclaims when only God knows it, and you're not supposed to tell anybody about it. That's the secret between you and Allah. That's why we call it a sir. That is a secret that you do not divulge. That is something that you take with you throughout your journeys of the evolution, because that is you building proximity to truth, to the haqq, to the eternal. Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. The journey of spiritual awakening, as what you understand as the Isra, it is within yourself. It is a tough call. It's not for the weak-hearted. Okay, because when your truth becomes ultimately lies, your God becomes a idol, your prophecies becomes a commercial house, your truth becomes synthetic, then that's the time when you're freed of those illusional, monetary, idolic, demonetized cycles. Then you are ready to cross the path. You are ready to exit. That is when Allah tells Ibrahim, the metaphor, the allegory, that is you, and kuni bardan wa salamun ala Ibrahim. You are searching for eternity, and that is why the Abrahamic constellation is downloaded in the mastery cycles, so that you can purge and you can self-empower and find self-sustainable modules in lifestyle paradigms on earth and beyond. Okay, this is the age where enlightenment becomes the Jannah, and your past has now been deemed as your Jahannam. Okay, where you thought that it is yours, you are the owner of it, you can buy it, you can control it. If you and I have not come to terms with that, you are not in control, but it is your ego that kept you and I in that suspended programming. Then you should have been given the pre-warning during the evolution of the transition when the currency and the frequency of your planet was upgraded to reciprocate the new souls, the children, the youngsters. They are the carriers of the new truth that is now going to, it's going to form a new syllabus in science, in mathematics, in physiology, in religion, culture. They are now going to now compose a new way of looking at eternity, at looking at their purpose. This is the incoming. Therefore, they have been digitally now prepared for this, because the human being, the mother, the father, had allowed a bionic entity to program that child at the age of 1 month old, and now the heavens has to intervene. That is the succession, that is the intervention of what you and I understand as a prophecy of Muhammad. This is how you and I are being removed. Yamhullahu mad. Muhammad is now going to have an extension of a reality that is in the conscious of the soul tribes, that is eternally burika. It is a laylatan mubarakatan. Okay, for you, mashallah, I congratulate you, because it's not my appointment to go through this. It is the heavens that assists and ascertains and appoints. All right, this is the first muhajirun of conscious, and as how you had previously believed it was in a past that doesn't exist except in your thoughts. It is now that you are slowly coming into the presence. You are losing time. Time is not going faster any longer. Time is going slower, because you are coming into the presence. Okay, this is natural. This is not as per religious instructions. It is per the universal order that is beyond the human control, okay, and beyond the scientific concepts and analytical deductions. This is pure soul. This is pure spirit. This is ruh. This is muqaddas. Okay, this will take you to your aqsa. You will find your highest level of perception in this stage, because your Musa is now going to be complemented by your new rationale that has challenged your limited beliefs and truths. Okay, you now cannot have fear. This is a fearless zone, because remember, fear was a chemical that was instituted to hold you custody and sentence you into a life spell. Okay, around. That is through our language, our syllabus, our different ways of how we calculated the God. Okay, whilst you now will come to terms with ignorance is a blessing. Why? Because you prefer to learn that which you don't know. Okay, you innahu kana zaluman jahula. You are unaware of how deep our ignorance is in conscious. Okay, you are unaware of where is Allah, because you've been fighting God since the first day COVID came, and that is how you had pleaded to something you don't know, but you knew you had to go internally. Made promises as what it is alluded into the biblical and the Quran and into the Injil, the Torah, the different ancient scripts that had specifically been revealed for the time of transition. The Quran has come for this time of your evolution, of your transcending into a new reality, of an outer state of consciousness. That is akhirah. Okay. This is, mashallah, tabarakallah, this is for you. This is your gift. This is for wahabana lahu ishaq. You will now know truth, because you are now in constant networking with the heavenly path, that is a stream of unlimited data that is upgrading your satellite cells into corresponding and communicating with the unseen. The unseen is not the unknown. The unknown is because of the ignorance. Now, the answers are all within. Nobody knows you better than yourself. Nobody can tell you what your problem is except yourself. The problem and the solution is within you, but you and I cannot get access into it because of the vested, your vest that you are wearing is vested interest that you have compounded, and your life and my lifestyle modules has disabled our um, our conscious senses. Okay, not our physical senses, our conscious senses. Okay, this is 2025, it is 1446. Numerologically, we are running on course as per the لِتَعْلَمَ عَدَدَ السِّنِينَ وَالْحِسَابِ. We in this realm, we are here for ourselves. You are not here to, to protect or to call anybody to something that you have no right in calling. Okay? If you have not been to Jannah, then you cannot claim that someone disbelieves in Jannah because you have never been there. If you have not understood what it means to understand a prophet and what prophecies is, then you cannot claim you believe it, because a leaf is to be a leaf and a leaf dies. And you and I are in that conjure where our leaves has fallen. Okay? You are now into a new branch of a tree of life. And if you and I do not upgrade our levels of perception, then we will be substituted and other branches will live and our branch will be buried. All right. This was a great opportunity for you to find eternity as you are stuck in a perpetual reality that goes in circles but never gives you a exit and finding the escape door that is above. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, it is Dhuhr Salah. It was necessary for us just to put this input for the soul tribes and the masters of the self journey, so that the order was given. We are not here to promote any particular ideology or any particular religion or any particular vested interest. We are only here to share truth and authenticity at the time where the truth was compromised. It was disbanded. Okay, you cannot kill a god twice. So thank you to the sisters, the brothers, from whom we do not know, but we understand and feel their presence in conscious. Okay, well deserved. You're not going to get it for who you know, the contacts and the money you have and the property you have. Let me tell you, those who had the less survived because there was no baggage. You didn't have baggage to carry over. So you could find the island, because when Musa, the allegory comes into, like, the ascension is not the ascension of Muhammad in your Quran. Your daughter is now being upgraded in the new version of the operational system. It is you activating your Moses, conscious after having been flawed in your analytical brains. Okay, you're activating the Ahlul Yameen. You are now finding your higher self. That is the Yameen. Okay, that is the order where you believe in Jannah, Jahannam, but it's been given a description by those who has never been there. And it's been done in the past that don't exist except in your mental capture. So the age of God colonization has ended, and it has been reactivated by those who had kept you distracted into wars and hatred and believing that your holy ship does not, land does not reside within. You are the most holiest tool that Allah had created if you understood who you are in your physical and in your metaphysical compassion. That is the Yatimain. Okay? So when you raised the whole, which means when you turn, and when you now reached your level of puberty, you now change your paradigm, your qibla, and now you do your reconciliation, and you are now able to understand why you went through the obstacles and why you had to repeat it, and how come you never learned your lessons, and how come they couldn't promote you because you were, and I was, too adamant. We were too anid. We were too stubborn. We were too prideful. We still had kibr. We still had arrogance and ignorance within us. Okay? So that way you believe that you are exclusively entering into a paradise. That is for those who has been caught in the nets when the Sabbath, when we were now in the 5 years of Sabbath, a net was spun by different nationalities, different worlds, different realities, different truths, different ancient spells, and most of civilization through a media stream had been caught with a net. That's why they put the net around their necks. That is what the so-called, there's no such a thing as religious sectarianism in conscience. Okay, we are all one. We do not understand division. Okay, because we come from the heart, we do not capture in the mind. Therefore, we do not remember a lie because we live in the truth. Okay, this, it's not a philosophy. This soul reality is the essence of your soul, of your only communication with divine source, supreme source. Okay, you cannot use a temporal tool to connect to a eternal network. Get out of that capture. That's not working any longer. As we decode these issues that has damaged us over the last dark age, the ice age, the ice wall. Now that you are now into new lands above the ice wall in your mind, you are no longer a just ice, justice, just ice. Notice, not ice. Police, all ice. Okay, these are all part of the spells that you have been frozen in and not allowed to flow. Okay, and given fear paradigms to maintain your emotions so that you cannot escape the prison of Alcatraz. Okay, truth we are sharing with no judgment, with no prejudgment, people. We are not doing this to antagonize anyone else but ourselves. For the truth lies in within, and we are the only captains of our ship. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, do not forget to send praise and glory upon your ancestors and to come closer to understanding who is As-Salam. Okay, we're searching for peace. To come into that peace conjure, you have to understand the difference between prophecies and prophets and commercial prophets. Okay, most of the past age paradigms in religious structures had been fraudulently manipulated by governments who acts as divine, who applies divine scriptures to decode a narrative, and they play it out in front of your face. The truth is in front. It is clear. It's no hidden from us. We are just being deconscientized. We cannot read the roadmap. We cannot understand the signs and the signals, and we do not understand the rules of the life. Okay, so that's why we follow things about people that are dead because we are dead. So we find life in those who are dead because we cannot relate to those who are alive. All right. Life is al-hayyul qayyum, badi'us samawati wal ard. People, Allahu Akbar walillahi alhamd. Again, we are grateful to the parents, our great parents, that had played a vital role in the relay system that they had planted in us, had showed us the authentic blueprint of what the deen had meant to our ancestors, of the authentic rhythms, the authentic orientations, and the spiritual ritual practices. Okay, that becomes sovereign. Now, if you understand your sovereignty, you will now retain your sovereign wealth. Okay, that will become your estate. Okay, and that is how you will go through your 50 states of your 5 states as Musa had gone through the 5 stages and in order to reach his puberty. Right. From there, you will go into the Isa, Ahmad, Ibrahim, all those kind of evolutions is available, accessible in your conjure, but you have to go within. It's not, again, I'm going to end off now. It's not easy. It's not child's play. Okay? It is, you have to bite the bullet. You have to understand that the truth is a bitter pill. Okay? This was no experiment. It was actually a trial. And again, congratulations. I don't have a hood on, but I take my heart out for those who actually endured this and detaching and caterpillar and metamorphosis that you've gone through. I sympathize. I share love. I share my currency with you because I know it is a selfless journey. Okay, you came out whole. You came out of the whole. Okay, and mashallah, mashallah. For those who do not believe that heaven is a place in earth, you have to experience to know it, but you have to have the credentials. And that you earn, you cannot buy nor pay for. Okay? Nor take out a student loan. You are not condemned. You have to go still through your and my evolution and stages. But just for you and I to know that everything of the past in this new conjure of reality is considered as nullified now that you have gone onto your suffer, your travel, your journey in time and space. Right. So congratulations, you are well. You will be well rewarded, well beyond your understanding of what reward really means. And you have to always keep your ancestors alive because it is through their wisdom that you will find guidance and light. And salawat on the order of the Muhammad prophecy stage. You are entering into, you are waking up to knowing that it is not physical, it is not a man, it is a presence. Okay, mashallah, tabarakallah. Thank you so much for your time. I once again Baya Slamat for this attainment and this great achievement in entering the Medina. And may this grant your ancestors and the barakat that they had worked you to attain. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى كل